Hey everyone, I'm here to review the Sailor Moon musical La Reconquista. Um, I watched it for the first time today. It's been out for a long time, but the DVD finally just came out, so that's exciting. This musical pretty much is the first arc of Sailor Moon. It's the Dark Kingdom arc, which is one of my favorites because I really enjoy seeing Queen Beryl and the four generals and uh, Sailor Moon and the four scouts. Like I love that whole thing. Um, it starts out though with before the show even starts. It starts out with the actress who played Queen Beryl. Let me find her name. Midori Hatsukaze. She does this introduction as Queen Beryl, pretty much saying like, watch this story of this beautiful woman and battling these people, and it's just really well done. It's like, even though I appear at the end, or make sure you pay attention to everything, or something. It's really funny. Um, yeah. Something new about this musical is that they incorporated video effects. There's a huge like video screen in the back, which plays out in the beginning and a little bit at the end. Because they go to a game show, an anti-game show, and there's these huge amount of games, and each scout pretty much gets to play one, and it sort of introduces the scout, like Minako like fights and or Makoto fights, and Ami does this puzzle thing, and it's really cool. You get to see like what type of character these are, just in case if this is something new to you. And then we see Ami use a maiden game or an ultimate game, which also helps give them love advice, which is Japan right there. Um, and they use live, or probably not live, recorded video footage on the screen behind them and they actually talk to each other. So it's really cool. Like, it's a nice incorporation. Something really awesome about this musical compared to the other past ones, there's really good wigs and props in this one. Like, I really enjoyed all of the wigs. Um, as I don't know if you know, but this musical is a Takarazuka musical, which means that the entire cast is all female. So there's females playing guys, obviously, and a lot of the wigs on those girls playing guys are probably the best I've ever seen, even better than the female wigs. um, yeah, it's a really great musical. The songs are actually really cool because obviously it's an all-female cast, so you're listening to about 50% uh, male characters being sung by women though. So it's interesting to hear how that's done. I would have to say that Yuga Yamato, who played Tetsuya Kamen or Mamoru, I'd say she had the best female to male voice. Apparently she's had history as a Takarazuka singer before though, so that's kind of cool. We get to see an experienced singer, and she was fancy. I really liked her. She played a nice Mamoru. She got the mannerisms right. She got it was just really good. Um, the interesting part about this story was that they incorporated the four generals, which I love, but they're now idols. They're now singers, which it's interesting because that's never been done yet. It's reminiscent to the Starlights actually, um, but not fully. They're still the same gender. Um, but they're pretty much like entrancing the inner scouts to light them pretty much, and then eventually steal their energy. I liked that Zoisite was the one to turn good or have feelings. It's typically Nevlite. Um, I forget who it was in the live action. It might be Nephritis still, but it was interesting to see Zoisite do it because there's not a lot of love for Zoisite, at least not for me because of the whole anime gender swap thing. It sort of confused me a little bit, and to see the relationship between Kanzei and Zoisite is interesting because it's not really anything but in the anime, because clearly in this musical they are teamed up or romantically involved with the Inner Scouts. So Zoisite goes with Mercury, I believe. Yes, obviously, because Mercury and him have a huge thing. It seems like Mercury and Zoisite were always like doing their own thing, while the other Scouts and Generals were singing in unison with their own teams. It was a little interesting. Um, some of my favorite songs were Stairway to Heaven, Stairway to Heaven, Stairway to the Moon, definitely Stairway to Heaven, La Battle, La Reconquista, Resolution, and Don't Forget. I really enjoyed the Queen Serenity songs, especially because I'm a huge fan of the Moon Kingdom and that whole thing. We got to see the Moon Kingdom play out. It was so sad. We got to see the princesses with swords. We got to see Queen Beryl in like a battle suit. It was so cool. It was really cool. um, but to end this off with a high note, the best part about this entire musical was the old hag, Lemure. She had the crazy hair. She was played by Mayumi Shintani, who is actually a voice seiyuu for anime like FLCL and Kill La Kill, which is really cool. But the best part is that there's a scene where she's talking to Usagi, all nonchalantly, like just whining to her pretty much about Queen Beryl, but in a very vague, not even that vague actually, but a very funny comedic way. And apparently that's improv. It was all improvised, and I think that's the most like amazing thing, because just watching their like faces, like Mayumi was totally like sincere and like doing a really good job of keeping a straight face, but then we see Moon played by Satomi Okubo, and she is like sort of like laughing but like keeping her face straight as well. It's just really funny to watch. But yeah, so this musical I would give like a 10 out of a 10 because I was completely enthralled. More towards the end, like the beginning was like, okay, what's happening here? But like more near the end where like everything was happening, like all of the high points were happening. I was at the edge of my seat, really. Um, but sadly, Sailor Mercury is the only character to not be returning um, in the next musical. The next musical is called Sailor Moon Petite Étrangère. I can't speak French, so hopefully that's a little bit close. And that title comes from the chapter 13-14 of the manga where Chibi Usa comes in. And Chibi Usa will be played by two kids, just like the other Saramu musicals. Sailor Pluto's in this, and Black Lady. I am so excited about all this because I love this arc. It's my favorite. But yeah, I'm extremely excited for this, and I can't wait to see more musicals. Like, I'm so happy they are returning, and I hope we get more localization stuff. Like, I want an American or an English-speaking troupe of a rendition of the musicals that are in Japan. But I doubt that'll happen, but it's nice to, wish. Also, it makes me interested in, well, this musical makes me interested in reading/writing fanfiction. I always get inspired to write fanfiction from Sailor Moon, but like now I really want to write fanfiction about like the generals and the Moon Kingdom and everything. Very inspired. Okay, don't need to talk about that here though. But anyways, um, but yeah, I hope to review the next musical, and I will see you then. Bye.